In this video, we'll cover how to add a transaction from Billable Time. Right now I'm looking at the transaction info section inside a client file. That's this dollar sign right here, or it's called balance on this menu. And normally when you add a transaction, it's with this add button right here. We have another video that covers this in depth. This video will show you how to add a transaction, but from Billable Time. To get to Billable Time, you're going to click on the Overview button right here. Again, if we expand our menu, it's called Overview. You click on this, you're going to be taken to the account information page, and there's this links button in the top right corner, and you click on this. There is Billable Time and Log Hours. So Billable Time and Log Hours are part of the Billable Punch Clock. Log Hours is how you actually create the entries. So if you were to click on this, it's going to basically take you to this punch clock, Billable Punch Clock page. So it's kind of just a shortcut to this page. It fills in the client name. This is where you can select your billing task type, and then it has a billing rate and then a description. Once you click punch in, that clock is rolling. Once you click punch out, it stops. You can click on this go to client to get back to the client file that you were logging these hours for. It's going to take you back to the dashboard. We go back to overview. And then if we go to Billable Time now, it's going to show our billable punch clock entries. And this is one that we just did for today. So on this page, we have our billable time entries that have been logged for this client based off of this date range that we have selected up here. And you can see that this is the one that we did for today, 12:54 to 12:54. The reason why it says that time is because we just did a punch in, punch out very quickly. Normally what you'd want to do is actually punch in when you start working on it and then punch out when you are no longer working on it. But for this example, what we can do is after we do the punch in, punch out, we can click the edit pencil to adjust our entry. So say if in this example, we really started working on this task at 10 a.m., we can just change our from time to be 10 a.m. Our 2 will be at 12:54 still, and then we can just write a note saying what we did for this work there, and then we can click the floppy disk to save it, and that's going to update our entry. We can do the same thing for the one that we did on the 17th. Just click edit, and then maybe this one we finished at 5 o'clock. Just update that, and then add our description, and then save. So if we want to create transactions based off of these entries, you see that we have amounts for 35, 63, and 290. What we can do is we can select the billable time entry and then click add. It's going to give us an account year that we can select. In this case, we're going to do payroll xtax, and then we have a transaction type that we can create it as. So we'll do payroll for bi-weekly, and we can create an individual transaction with this entry. So I click on this. It says the transaction has been created. I close the menu. It says now that it's in the 2024 payroll account year, transaction type, lists what it is, the date, and then the transaction amount, and how much was billed. So all that gets filled in once you do that. And if we go back to the transaction section, and I need to go actually look at the payroll file, you can see that we have that $35 entry added as a transaction. So if we go back to our overview page and then look at the billable time again, we can create a lump sum transaction with these two here. So if I select these two, click on add, again, same thing, we'll do payroll, transaction type, we'll do federal bi-weekly, and then we can create lump sum transaction right here. So if we do this, it says transaction's been created, and that transaction, if we go back to the client file, go to the balance page, we have that transaction item created, and it combined those two billable entry amounts into a total there, as well as the hours, and then it gives a date range for that. So that is how you can create transactions from your billable time entries. We hope that this was helpful. Definitely reach out to Adam Support if you have any questions.